Welcome to the Alkalign Lifestyle School. I'm your host and guide today, Fidel Snuggle II, and today I'm talking to you about how to become authentic. Now, you've heard from several studies have shown that authenticity is the highest form of vibration. Yeah, you have love, unconditional love, you have gratitude, but past those things is authenticity. And I'm going to break down the formula for you to become your true, authentic, divine self in this lifetime. So let's start off right now with the first factor in you becoming authentic is vulnerability. Now let me define the word vulnerability for you so that you actually understand. These are qualities, these are states, all three of these things, from vulnerability, accountability, and transparency. But number one, vulnerability. And it's going to be in this order that you start this process off to become your authentic self, in this order. Vulnerability is defined as the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally. Let me get you to understand why this is so important. The reason why this is so important is because if you don't create the actual state that you can walk out, and this can go this way, or this can go this way, you'll never make a decision. Let me also define decision. I said a decision, not a choice. You decide, meaning you cut yourself off from anything else happening to you because you decided to go this way. So if I have a fork in the road, I can decide to go left, I can decide to go right. If I choose to do this, all right, it's because I myself am going to cut myself off from any regret of going right. If I chose left, if I chose right, I cut myself off from any regret in going left. Therefore, when I become vulnerable, I have to also cut myself off from the regret. When the possibility of me being attacked or me being harmed does not matter anymore. I'm not going to live in, I would have did this, I should have, could have, would have. It's out of my mind. I don't need that in my mind anymore. So when you are vulnerable, you are now in the state of being exposed to everything. Now you're available for anything happening. Now it does not have to be under your direct control. Now life can actually happen with life happening. And it doesn't happen to you anymore. Life happens for you. Because whatever that you have, if you believe on this side, it's happening for you. That's what it's doing. If you believe on this side, it's happening to you. That's what it's doing. It's based upon you. Because you have what's called epigenetic control over the genes, over yourself. So because you have the control over it, over yourself, over what's going on in your cells, in your own body, you're the one that is constantly exposing yourself to everyone, to everything. I believe that you're only being seen by one thing. I believe everyone has this false sense of somebody's attacking me, somebody's coming at me, but they don't understand that you're living in a mirror perspective, in a mirror principle of how life works, of how the world works, because you're the person that creates the simulation. You create the entire thing. And because you're creating it every moment in time, point in space, based upon your belief pattern, you have to ask yourself, what's your belief pattern? If you don't know your belief pattern, you don't know what you're creating. So unfortunately, people walk around like victims. And they think that because they're so vulnerable and they open themselves up to being attacked, that's why they got attacked. But all you have to do is look at it from an element of you're the creator. If I want to be vulnerable, the possibility of this thing's happening is actually a great thing. Because now I'm looking at my life and I'm saying spontaneity can actually occur for me because I have to know what I want, but I can't know how I'm going to get what I want. I just have to know what I want. And then all of a sudden, because I'm open to however it's going to come in, I now have a plan that can develop that's not going to be based upon my limiting beliefs. People have so many limiting beliefs in their mind, in their subconscious mind, that it stops them from actually achieving the things that they desire to have in life. Because, and this is a powerful thing, especially in terms of lineage, African Americans for one. And you'll see that in the South, there's a different level of collective consciousness in the South. So when you go in the South, African American people don't think big because you're in the South. So that's traditionally slavery. You see it all around you when you're driving. You see like excerpts of it, historical facts of it, plantation houses. You see fields of acres and farms. So why wouldn't black people want to farm? Well, because if you saw it in terms of slavery, you would think that farming is bad. But what if farming is freedom? It just depends on your association to it. But that's based upon, again, your vulnerability. So how vulnerable are you? Are you 100% open to whatever the Creator wants you to do, to whatever you want to receive? Because if you're open to receiving it any type of way, it can now come in, as long as it's right, as long as you're right. So if you're right from within, vulnerability is a great thing. Because again, I want to be exposed to the possibility of anything. Because I have to know that this is polarity, positive and negative. Positive and negative, meaning you can have positive things happen, negative things happen. Because this is life. Life is a wave. Up, down, up, down, up, down. I don't know who told you that this is life. Flat line. That's death. So if you want everything to happen the same way all the time, the same way, that's death. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. You want to sit there to act like you're too afraid of the possibilities. So people hide in caves. They go away and they hide in a cocoon. And they're not looking at it as a cocoon to a butterfly. They're looking at it as a cave and a cocoon to hide themselves. But listen, you have to act like it's a cocoon that's going to birth a new butterfly, or it's a cave for you to go hide in. Sometimes you need to pull back, okay, from the outside world. You need to pull yourself back and go back within yourself and know who you really are and know what you really want and know what you really like and really go in to gauge yourself. And then you go show up as the butterfly. That's what vulnerability is. That's a state. So either physically or emotionally, don't matter. This person might be right for me, but because I can't take their demand for me to change, I'm going to associate their demand for change as painful, and they're attacking me. It's based upon your association because you don't want to change. But what if you need to change? Because everything in this world requires you to change. You know why? That's the only law in the universe. Everything's changing. Every moment in time, point in space, everything's changing. So why aren't you? If you don't change, you get left behind. You have to change. So your legacy to change, to cross the river of change, is causing you the pain on the inside. That's what's causing you the pain on the inside. That's causing you the pain on the inside. So now let's go towards number 2, which is accountability. Now, you have to have vulnerability. You have to have the state or expose yourself to the possibility of being attacked or harmed physically or emotionally in order for you to now have accountability. And what is accountability? Well, accountability is whenever you answer for one's actions or decisions, meaning you answer for your actions or decisions. It implies a sense of responsibility or liability for something or someone. So if you do something wrong, if you commit a crime, you're accountable for the crime that you commit. You're accountable for what you're putting out. This is essentially what I call the golden rule principle. You have got to have the golden rule principle. If you lived by the golden rule principle, if everyone lived by the golden rule principle, you would have this wonderful, harmonious world. But because people don't understand themselves and how the universe works, they don't know what the golden rule principle actually is. So you've heard, do unto us as you have them do unto you. Well, let me break it down in a simplistic fashion. Do to other people, meaning you treat other people how you like them to treat you. You got to do it first. That's what the golden rule principle is. So if I want you to treat me with kindness, I have to be kind. Treat you with respect in order for me to receive respect. Treat you with admiration in order to receive admiration. Celebration. So I celebrate you in order for you to celebrate me. Because this is, again, the mirror perspective. So what I'm expressing is that all of these traits and these states of mind, because it's all coming from the basis of you understand how your consciousness works and your mind works. You're the one that's going to put this out on the screen of space. You're the one that's, first of all, exposing yourself to attacks from everyone, because you have to. Not everybody's going to like you, because not everybody's on the same frequency as you. Not everybody's going to respect and appreciate your vibration. Not everybody's going to say that you're so wonderful, inspirational, motivational. Not everybody's going to say that. And you know what you got to say? So what? So, they ain't your team. They ain't your tribe. They ain't your community. Go find a better one that suits you, that fits you, that's full of what you call constructive interference, good vibes, that enhances you, that makes you grow, that fills you up, that fills up your cup. Don't go to people who are going to put you down and make you feel small, that will lie to your face. Let me give you guys one piece of advice that I can give you, is that when a person cares for you, so when someone cares for you, I'll write this down so you guys can take notes. When someone cares about you, they hold you accountable. When someone cares about you, they hold you accountable. You know why? Because if you take responsibility completely for what you do, okay? If you take responsibility completely for your actions, then you realize that life is responding to you based on cause and effect. But you're the one causing the effect based on your actions. So it's you. So if someone does not tell you how your actions are actually affecting them, if they just sit there and they just take your punches, and all you do is keep punching them, and you just keep punching them the entire time, and they just keep on taking your punches. Nobody holds you accountable. You haven't held yourself accountable. I'm not saying they gotta stop. They gotta stop and put their hands up and knock you out. I'm not saying that. But they gotta confront you. They gotta tell you. And you know what? The people who are the divine are gonna tell you the truth, and tell you the truth with love. You'll be able to feel it. You'll be able to feel that love from within them. They aren't gonna be attacking you like you were attacking them. So you have to understand how to respond. Be able to respond. Just like responsibility, be able to respond. Can you be able to respond? You gotta take accountability for whatever you're putting out. This is the golden rule principle. So if you've got friends that cannot hold you accountable for what you've been doing, for what you've been saying, if you don't have friends that are no friends, meaning they tell you no, I can't make it here. No, I can't do that. No, that's not a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea. And I'm not saying that they have to tell you that everything that you come up with is wonderful, is great, because everything that you come up with may not be wonderful and great. You may have to alter it. You may have to change it. You may have to enhance it. You may have to be more detailed or more structured. But if they don't tell you something, how are they going to redirect you into their positive way? I'm not saying that go towards people that each time you bring something up, hey, we can do this. Here's a possibility. And they say, nah, that ain't going to work. I'm talking about that. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about don't jump off the cliff and we can see holes in your wings. That's what I'm saying. Friends like that. You have a hole in his wing. You got to patch this up to this side and stretch this one out, or like put this type of material on it, because if you go out and you jump off the cliff like that, it's probably not going to work. What's up, friends? Still jump off the cliff. Just don't do it like that. Here, try like this. Those are friends that care about you. I have friends like that. I have a friend, he's my friend. I call him my brother. He's really more like my brother than my friend. I know him for like 24 years of my life. I'm 41 years old, so I've known him for obviously half of my life, over half of my life. And if I need to not be checked, if I just need a different perspective on life, an honest perspective on life, I call him. I hit him up. I just hit him up. Yo, I did this, and this, and this. This is what I've done. I'm not seeing it right. I need somebody to tell me how to see it right. I have my mentees that call me, and they call me from my perspective because they know I'm not going to tell them something that they want to hear. I tell them what they need to hear. So if you have friends who don't speak to you in terms of what you need to hear, they aren't there for your growth. They don't know that you're trying to grow. They don't want to grow with you. That's interference, that's destructive towards your ultimate end goal. So the first state is vulnerability, because you have to expose yourself. You have to expose yourself to accountability. You have to expose yourself to it. You have to expose yourself to, well, shoot, hey, I did do this wrong. Man, I got to take accountability for that. I don't know if I can do that. Because if you don't expose yourself to vulnerability, you'll be too afraid to take accountability. So those people who basically hide based on fear. So what stops somebody from being accountable? Fear. Stops you from being vulnerable. Fear. And when you have fear inside of you, inside your heart, inside your belly, first off, because it's where you're going to feel it, mainly, we have fear inside of right here. It's going to mess you up. And so when you think about the people, when you think about the individuals who you come across your entire life that don't expose themselves because they're so afraid of the backlash that comes from them. If you are afraid of backlash, if you're afraid of people disagreeing with you, you're never gonna put your ideas out there. This is the first step. So if this is the first step, and the first thing that you have to do in order to be authentic and to vibrate at the highest form of vibration that you possibly can achieve, start this process by looking at yourself and saying, what are you not exposing yourself to? Who is keeping you quiet? Who is keeping you from the next level? It may be your mom, it may be your dad. It may be, it just may be, maybe your sister, maybe your brother. Because you're sitting there waiting for them to confirm that you are who you say you are. God already confirmed who you are. The creator within you already confirmed. The kingdom of God is up here. It already confirmed who you were. What you waiting for? What you waiting on? Somebody to say you're doing a good job, pat you on the head? No, you don't need that. When you think of someone who doesn't want to justify their actions, people who don't want to justify their actions, they just do things without intention. They don't do things with the intent to do it right, for what's right. They just walk around like whatever they say goes, whatever happens, happens. People who are in authoritarian positions, like some kings and dictators and things like that, of that nature, you feel like they can walk over everybody because everybody's a peasant and like they're above someone. But let me tell you, in this lifetime, you're above no one. You're not bigger than anybody. You're as big in your world as you want to make it. That does not mean that you are bigger than someone. Then no, you're not inherently bigger than anybody. No, you're the same as everybody else. You just probably look at yourself differently, value yourself differently. And so in that regard, that's what stacks you up in terms of society. That's it, your self-esteem, how you value yourself. But the janitor is just as important as the CEO. It is. Without them, they can't do their job. Without them, they can't do their job. Just two people on two different levels of value. That's pretty much it. But you need to have everything. You need to have the ants. You need to have the bees. Nature needs to have the water, the streams. You need to have the birds. You need to have the things that you think are non-existent. The earthworms, things that you think are non-existent, play a major role in how this thing works. So everybody has a role to play in the system. So if you're a company owner, a CEO, a business owner, small business owner, a big business owner, you have to know that leadership comes from you treating everybody from the golden rule principle. If you don't learn that, then you're gonna miss out on actual leadership. You miss out on actual being a person of authenticity that people want to actually follow. That's what leadership is. So the first two things, we expose ourselves to the possibility of being attacked, physically or emotionally. That's the first thing, vulnerability. The second thing, take accountability for our actions. We justify by taking accountability for our actions. If they're right, if they're wrong. If I do this and this happens, I'll take accountability for it. If I do this and this happens, I'll take accountability for it. It's on me. Take accountability for the part that you play. Some people also need to take accountability for what they didn't say. Not just for what you said, but for what you didn't say. You needed to step in at this time and you didn't do it. You needed to take control and you didn't do it. You need to show up differently and you didn't do it. That's also for you to look at yourself and say, what times in your lifetime did you have the opportunity to go in and show up differently, to take over, to take charge, but you were too afraid to expose yourself to being attacked physically or emotionally? You were too afraid to be vulnerable, so you stopped yourself from upgrading your life. That's number two. Now, number three is big. This, I feel, is the most misunderstood part of this formula, is transparency. Let me tell you why. Because transparency, and I'm going to define it the way it's actually defined, but I think people have to look at it from, you have to have these two in order to have this. Transparency is defined as the quality of being easy to see through or done in an open way without secrets. So basically meaning transparency is the quality of state of being transparent or free from hiding something. I'm gonna say it again, because I know y'all probably felt that one, but we're gonna have to hit you with something even harder. It is the quality or state of being transparent, which is easy to see through, done in an open way without secrets, or free from hiding something. When you're free from hiding something in your mind's closet that you don't want to break out, that means that you've achieved vulnerability, exposing yourself to being attacked physically or emotionally. And then number two, you have justified through yourself, you've taken responsibility to justify your actions, and you've taken the accountability to say, I am the cause of my effects. You're no longer a victim. You're no longer a victim of circumstance, because it doesn't exist. There is no such thing as circumstance. There's no such thing as happening by chance. There is none. So you can hope and you can wish that it's on you, that it's on somebody else. You can hope, you can wish. That's not how it works. It's always on you. Every moment of time, point in space, everything is on you. So it's responding. Life is responding to you. It's always responding to you. And everybody's free to create their life the way they want it, if they know that their life is responding to them. So if you're transparent, that means that you're free from hiding anything. So what's that mean? When you're transparent in a marriage, in a relationship, when you're transparent in a partnership, when you're transparent in a business, when you're transparent in anything, what does that mean? I'm not hiding anything. Just think if your body worked the way that society tells you to work. Just think if your forearm could not communicate with your shoulder, okay, or if your bicep couldn't communicate with your tricep, or if your core and your abs couldn't communicate with your hip flexors. Like how is it supposed to work? So then okay, you have the CNS up here, you have the enteric nervous system down here. So if your gut did not communicate with your head, would you know that you're full, or would you know that you're that you're hungry, or would you know that you're thirsty? How would you know that if this isn't connected to this? This is the entire problem why people are sick and they have disease, because you block the flow of communication. At every moment in time, in point in space, your body, your mind is connected throughout the entire system. If it was not connected throughout the entire system, it wouldn't work correctly. So let me tell you again, people don't work correctly because they don't have communication from the system. From the system. You have 12. All 12 systems need to be communicating with all 12 systems. So all 12 systems need to be in unison with each other. You can't have the department of your muscles and your tissue, and they don't know that the cardiovascular system isn't functioning or firing. And then reproductive system is not also functioning and firing, but the CNS nervous system up here is firing, but then the enteric nervous system is not firing. So your autonomic nervous system is kind of working, but you're still kind of in fight or flight mode on this side. Or maybe it's your endocrine system on this side, or maybe your exocrine system is kind of on. That's not how it works. That's not harmony. So you're not in harmony. So you see why you have so many issues with your energy, because you're not actually transparent. You're not actually free from hiding something. What am I talking about? I'm talking about, let's see. Yeah, so I'm married, but my husband wasn't, I perceived he wasn't treating me the right way because he was working too late at night. And I understand that he was trying to make some extra money for the holidays so he can get all of us something this is the wife speaking, the kids some new toys, and he was just out late. So I perceived that he didn't care about me. So I went out to go seek some love and affection from somebody else. And now I gotta tell him that, because I didn't know he was actually working late to do that. So now I made a mistake. So now I gotta go say that. Because I was high or something. Or you can be the man. You can be the man and you can say, shoot, I should just told my wife. No, she was just getting a little bit out of shape, and I wasn't feeling it, and rather than me just stepping up and being a man and just saying, hey, babe, I think you get a little bit, you kind of letting yourself go. We should kind of hit the gym, change our eating habits, change our lifestyle a little bit, get some more sleep, drink some more water, eat more plant-based, eat more alkalign, and I was like, nah, that's all right. I'm gonna go on the Instagram and go start to DM, go find some, some bad ones, and because they're ready-made product. Because I feel like that's what I need for me to thrive. So I'm just gonna do that. So I'm just gonna go tell her first, that this is what I think she needs to do, and I can help her do it, but rather than me say that, I'm just gonna go be a little weak ass guy and go find something else that's a ready-made product. And she's gonna have to take that until I feel bad because I didn't actually go in and be transparent because I was hiding that I needed, I needed to be more magnetized and attractive. But I didn't say it because I was afraid. So I wasn't vulnerable enough to tell the truth. So let me actually compare the word authentic to how to become honest. How to become honest. And how do you become honest? You make the decision to cut yourself off from not being honest. Because if you don't actually make that choice, make that decision, set that boundary, you're going to draw into your existence everybody that's the same as you. And you're going to sit there and act like you're a victim. Oh, this person played me. He cheated on me. He didn't cheat on you. No, he did steal your time. But he didn't cheat on you. He was just the mirror reflection of whom you were. He cheated on you too. It was you. You didn't make the commitment. You didn't make a 100% commitment. You didn't go both feet in. You was toe tapping like this. You was just toe tapping. You was just like, ooh, I think the water, it's kind of, let me put my hand in there, just a little bit. That's what you were doing. No, you gotta just be like, shirt off, I'm just gonna dive right in. That's how you gotta do it. You wanna have a company, a successful business, you wanna have a successful relationship, you wanna have a successful partnership, whatever you have. You gotta just be like, you know what? All right, I'm just gonna decide not to have anything, get rid of all the distraction, and just put all this stuff on the side, and I'm just gonna dive right in. Don't ever ask nobody to be your partner, to be your significant other, to be your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife. and you ain't put everything else outside and said, this person is the person. I'm locked in. You better find a way to find a commitment. Because without a commitment, there is no authenticity. There is no honesty. So you just wasted your time. Because you sit there to say, I have to be selective when I'm hiding from somebody. Because I can get hurt. Emotionally, I can get hurt. Start changing your voice up. I can get hurt. It's gonna feel bad, is it? So what? People pleaser. People pleaser. It's called being a coward. So people pleasing is just being a coward. You're being a coward because you're too afraid to tell the truth. That's it. So you're not pleasing anybody. Who are you pleasing? By lying to them. Because you don't have any transparency. Because you're hiding. So if you're not transparent, if you're not see-through, then where the light can go? The light can't go through you. The light comes from outside and it shines through you. It doesn't go in here and stay in here. It shines through you. That's called transparency. Glass. You're supposed to walk around here and not have anything hidden from the outer world. What you hiding for? You think that your journey is that shameful that you can't tell somebody what your journey is? I guarantee you somebody that's been through 10 times worse than what you've been through. So what? Get over it. You use the journey that you've been through to reach the people whom you're supposed to reach. You don't want to take the picture. You don't want to push the record button. You don't want to be seen. You don't want to be heard. Because I have to be vulnerable. Like somebody might look at my outfit and say, oh, look how he's dressed. I don't give a fuck what you think about how I'm dressed. I don't care. What's that gonna happen? What's that gonna do? People mad. They talking about voting. They're talking about politics. They're talking about sports teams. They're talking about anything that they possibly can to sit there and filter out everybody else. Get over it. Nobody cares. It doesn't matter who's in the office. It doesn't matter what Congress does today. It doesn't matter what the Senate does today. It doesn't matter what the president does today. It doesn't matter who the president is tomorrow. It doesn't matter what company is a $1 trillion company. It doesn't matter what baseball team won the Major League championship. It doesn't matter what NBA team won the championship. It doesn't matter about any of that shit. It doesn't fucking matter. All that matters is how you think and how you feel about yourself. Either you can make it, no matter the circumstances, or you can't. That's the deciding factor. Either you're gonna make a harmonious relationship with your person, with your spouse, or you're not. It's based upon how you think. And let me tell you, the most powerful influence that you can have on somebody is being the example of what you desire to see in that somebody. You can't tell me to correct my behavior if you didn't correct your own behavior. Who are you to tell me anything? I don't care about your research. Your research don't do shit. You can research all you want. I need research plus implementation. That's the experimentation that I can see. So literally, if I tell you, hey, I have this formula, herbal cellular cleansing formula. I used to be a pushover. I used to be light. I used to be like, and I don't mean light as in the light came through me. No, I mean light as in I could not be concrete. I could not be grounded in myself. So I was just a pushover. I was featherweight. Once I cleansed myself cellularly, once I did it first, I was like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Why am I living like this? With no intention, with no purpose, with no fulfillment. What am I doing? This is awful. I can't do this. But I had to wake myself up. So I became awakened. After I became awakened, I was like, wait, my partner, what is she doing? This isn't how you're supposed to act. This is not divine feminine energy. I'm looking at myself like, wait, this is not divine masculine energy. What am I doing? Pause. Stop what you're doing. Pause. Stop what I'm doing. This needs to be done this way. Start talking to God. God, how's this supposed to be done? Tell me how it's supposed to be done. Whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to do that. Whatever you tell me to say, I'm going to say that. Doesn't matter what. I'm gonna empty it out. Doesn't matter whatever I say. Or whatever I choose. It matters whatever you choose, because you're guiding me. I say what I really want. I'm not just gonna take a little piece off of it. I want the whole thing. I realize I can make my own. So what am I just gonna take a little piece from? I want the whole thing. Give me the whole thing. Give me the whole thing. And because I got the whole thing, I'm gonna give you all of this. Because I can't get this whole thing if I don't give you this thing. Start to realize how it works. It's like a tipping scale, right? You got giving and then receiving. So if I just keep giving, I just keep giving more, and I'm always tipping the scale, giving. Well, then my receiving's up here. Who has to make it even? The creator has to make it even. So it's constantly trying to make it even. I'm like, nope. I'm gonna figure out how to outgive each and every time. Go the extra mile each and every time. That's me. I can't tell you how to do this if I never did it myself. So what I'm saying is you have to hold yourself accountable to being honest. Because if you don't do that, you'll always be hiding something from somebody. But you're always being watched. There's one only eye that is watching everyone. So once you understand that, you release the hold. Transparency is you release your beliefs. You release your beliefs. Once you let those beliefs go, because people hide behind their beliefs for their entire life. Release your beliefs so you can receive some new ones. Let those go. Float away. Throw those fish back. You don't need them. You don't need the fish. Turn your eyes onto agriculture. Go walk to the farm. Go grab yourself some fruits and vegetables. I'm just giving you an example. Take your guns away. Stop hunting and shooting things. Start to live in alignment with how nature works. That's what I did. And that's just me. That's just a small example. That's just a small serving size of how I became who I became. When you stop hiding, now you can push record. Now you can push record. Now you can grab the microphone. Now you can speak to us about your story. It's not about your story. It's about the impact on me or on somebody from hearing your story. But we need your story though. You still gotta tell it. Your story is still important. Yes, it's still important. What's important is not how it makes you feel. What's important is how it makes us feel. That's what's important about it. You're already past that. You ain't living in that no more. I'll give you an example. I used to be homeless. I used to live in a Kia Spectra 5 with my current partner now, who was my wife, who divorced me earlier this year. And then after that, she was going through cleansing her cells. She decided that was a mistake. That's not what I want to do. I actually would prefer to be right here where you are. I'm cleansing all this stuff, and it just keeps coming, and I don't know what's going on. So I said, patience. You need to have some patience, but you also need to be vulnerable to physical attack and emotional attack from yourself. Then you got to be transparent, then you got to be accountable. You got to be accountable to realize you put this out. You were the cause. The effects now are because of the cause, which was you. Then you got to be transparent. Release your beliefs. Release them all. And then you can receive new ones. She's done all of it. We literally were sitting on the side of the road sleeping. We had two pit bulls in our back seat of a Kia Spectra 5. We were sleeping in the back seat, in our actual seat. So she slept in the driver's seat, I slept in the passenger seat. A little small Kia Spectra 5. 55-pound pit mix named Jade. 65-pound blue-nosed pit bull named Onyx. Our two great friends. Two wonderful beings. They stayed with us the entire time. I just came in from 2022. I first came back to California at that time. Had no place to stay. had nothing, had no money, had no sale of any kind, had no clientele, had nothing, had no confidence in what I was doing. I just knew that if I kept going and kept researching and kept studying and kept saying people need the truth and I can provide it for them. That's it. What's the motive? They need the truth. They need to learn the truth in the school format. They need their cells to be cleansed. They need to be clean. They need to be purified. They need to live in alignment. I can do it for them. If I just keep holding on to this vision that I have, I can hold myself through it. If I don't do that, if I don't release the belief that I'm not good enough, that I'm not worthy, that I'm never gonna make it, that this person doesn't love me, it had nothing to do with me. My relationship had nothing to do with me. It was everything that had to do with her on the inside. Nothing to do with me. Once I realized it, I'm like, oh, so why am I sad? Hey, you need some help? Let me put my hand out. Here, need some help? That was the difference. My associations changed from pain on one side to pleasure on the opposite side. Helping somebody became pleasurable. Not helping somebody became painful. Helping the earth became pleasurable. Not helping the earth became painful. Showing up as my authentic self became pleasurable. Not being honest and transparent in my authentic self became painful. I changed it. You can do it too. That's the formula. Number one, vulnerability. The state of being exposed, of exposing yourself, the state of exposing yourself to physical attack or emotional attack. Fuck the comments. They tell you that you ain't nothing, you dress like this, you look like this, you smell like that, your knowledge is stupid, you're stupid. Fuck them. It doesn't matter. So what? It doesn't matter. What they say doesn't matter. So you get past that just because you expose yourself to vulnerability. So you're showing actual courage. They're the coward hiding behind the desktop, hiding behind their text message. They're the coward. You're the courage. You have courage, they have cowardice. You're the hero. I'm not calling him a villain, I'm calling you a hero. Vulnerability plus accountability. Golden rule principle. Do to others as you would want them to do to you. Show up to somebody else the way you want them to show up for you. That's it. Don't think any way else about it. I took this, man, my brother, he dropped me some gems. He always tells me some gems, but he told me, he said, bro, stop acting like everybody's gonna have the same relationship that we have together. Why? Because when he calls me, it's accountability first. It's honesty first. I appreciate his honesty. Everybody else go sit there and lie to your face. I'm not trying to hear that shit. I want somebody's gonna be honest with me. Bro, that's on you. Take that charge. That's on you. Either you're gonna fix it or you're not. Either you're gonna not be late tomorrow, or you're gonna be on time. Are you gonna not work out today? Are you gonna skip it? Make an excuse to skip it. Are you not gonna be disciplined? Are you gonna skip it? It's on you. So you hold yourself accountable. These things are for yourself first. You're vulnerable, you expose yourself to a physical attack from yourself, to an emotional attack from yourself. Then you're accountable because you're holding yourself accountable for what you've been putting out. It's gotta come back to you. So before you look at somebody else and say, yo, you didn't do this, you didn't show up for me, you didn't serve me, well, I never held my partner accountable. I don't even know why she would want me. I never held her accountable, I didn't say anything. However she was gonna behave. I just said, it's okay, throw my hands up. What kind of love is that? That wasn't no love. That's cowardice. Right? Like I'm showing now that I care. I wasn't. Not until about, I would say, this year. Now all of a sudden, this person is like, oh, you are an asset to my life. I'm not saying I wasn't telling her what to do, but I'm saying I wasn't telling her what to do. I wasn't instructing, I wasn't guiding, I wasn't doing that. Because I wasn't doing it for myself. Once I became a person that did it for myself, everybody wants to follow me. I can thank God for that. Vulnerability. Expose yourself to physical, emotional attack. Accountability. You take accountability for what you're putting out. You become accountable for what you're putting out. Energy space, energy-wise. Transparency. Release your beliefs. You're no longer hiding from anything. Transparency. You're no longer hiding from anything. Releasing your beliefs to now be able to create brand new ones. Then after that, you achieve what's called authenticity. And now you're vibrating at the highest form of vibration. And everything that you're putting out is going to come right back to you. And there you go. That's how to become authentic. These 3 steps you follow, I guarantee you'll always meet the best. You'll always be your best. But you've got to speak the best into your own existence. Speak life into yourself. Don't speak anything else than the best into yourself. All right? Till next time.